Good afternoon and welcome to Kenzie's Corner. This is actually a part 2 to the first video that I watched. We will be talking about the NFL draft. Something quick, something slight. I'm going to give you my winners, my losers, who to watch out for this season, and a little preview as we go into training camp of what teams you should be watching out for. And I have a special request to review the Pittsburgh Steelers pick and kind of get to know where the Steelers' head is at going into the 2020 season as well. So with all that, let's get started. Here is Kenzie's review of the NFL Draft 2020, the overall view after the first round. So we're gonna start with the winner of the draft. This was hard because a lot of teams did so well, and this draft was so deep in terms of offensive line, defensive line. It was a deep quarterback draft. There's a lot of deep positions in the draft, so it was pretty hard to pick a winner. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna actually have to go with my team. And I don't mean to put no bias on there. The Carolina Panthers. I think you addressed a very serious need, and that was defense. Carolina got lit up all season long. Offense wasn't necessarily a problem. Even when Cam went down, Kyle Allen stepped up. Will Grier got some playing time, and they had to learn quick. But take away the quarterback position, you have McCaffrey. The offensive line stepped up. Receivers, receiving core. But going into the draft, they really need to concern defense, and to go 7 for 7. Matt Rule and that staff did an amazing job getting all defensive players and just sticking to defense. And there should be no reason that Carolina should be bad this year on that side of the ball. The pick that I really like is Jeremy Chin, who was their third-round pick, Division II prospect, plays safety. I'm going to compare him to a lot like an Ed Reed. Yeah, Hall of Famer Ed Reed, and that is a big comparison because Ed Reed is an absolute monster, as anyone that knows NFL football knows. Jeremy Chin's going to be a huge thing for them as well. But I really like what they did. But because I'm a Carolina fan, I'm going to pick another winner so that no one thinks I'm completely biased as well. So this was actually pretty hard to pick another winner, but I'm going to have to actually go with the Washington Redskins. And the reason why I'm going with the Washington Redskins is because you look what they did in the offseason, you look what they did pre-draft, as well as throughout the whole draft. They're another team that focused heavily on defense, as well as they shored up the offensive line, and they got rid of that humongous contract of Trent Williams. Don't get me wrong, Trent Williams is a phenomenal offensive lineman, and he's an elite offensive tackle, but he's getting up there in age, and he has those injury concerns, and he was just sucking up too much of the money. So the fact that they were able to trade him really released that salary cap, and that opened up them really getting more draft picks and signing up for them. So I really think Washington Redskins did a really good job. Plus you land one of the best defensive players in the draft in Chase Young, which I talked about in the first round. But I'm going to say they're the winner just because they freed up a lot of space to sign the draft picks, as well as going into free agency, and they did more of a strategy move of getting more money to the organization. So kudos to Ron Rivera as well. Another winner is the Green Bay Packers. A lot of people are slacking on the Green Bay Packers because they took Jordan Love. I actually love the pick because Jordan Love is the future of that team, and we don't know how many more years Aaron Rodgers has left. But they did shore up some weapons for Aaron Rodgers, so that was good as well. And I think Green Bay is probably another receiver away from actually contending for the Super Bowl. They've always been a talented team. Defensively, they do need to. I think I would have liked them to see them pick up a linebacker, but I am going to count them as a winner, so that was good as well. Another winner is the Cleveland Browns. They really did a good job as well, getting protection for Baker Mayfield, and there should be no excuse. This is a boom or bust year for Baker. Being the top pick overall 2 years ago, you really have to come into your own now, or they're going to really look for a next quarterback in the next year's draft or the year after. So Baker, you have no excuse now. You have the offensive line. You have two elite receivers in Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. You have David Njoku. You have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. You should be good, and Cleveland should be a huge threat going into the 2020 season as well. That's my winners again. But the draft pick that I really, really, really liked was, I think the steal draft pick. I don't know. I'm gonna talk about what kind of steals I liked, but there was a lot of different picks in the second to seventh round. But one of the draft picks I like was Jacob Eason. He's a quarterback of Washington University. He was picked up by the Colts. As you know, the Colts signed Philip Rivers to a 2-year deal. Philip Rivers isn't getting any older. You bring him in basically as a bridge quarterback. Andrew Luck retired, and you needed that. Jacoby Brissett is good, but he's just not that type of franchise quarterback to hold you down for a year. Philip Rivers can hold you down for a year, but however, Jacob Eason, if he gets one full year under Philip Rivers and one full year under Frank Reich, he will be an elite quarterback, and I love what Jacob Eason did. Jacob Eason did a phenomenal job at college, and I think Jacob Eason will definitely be the quarterback to watch out for Indianapolis as well. So just bear with me for a second. I'm just getting my information all in. I'm just trying to get my computer set up as well, because as I'm reading this to you, I also have notes and stuff from what I'm going to read to you guys. I want to make sure I have it accurate as well. So the request I got though was the Pittsburgh Steelers draft class, I got a request to just review their draft class, just so they can get a little idea of who Pittsburgh got. I will classify Pittsburgh as a winner in this draft. They addressed what they needed. I would have liked to see them draft the quarterback position, because we all know he's a future Hall of Famer, but at the end of the day, he's been hurt, and we don't know how much more he got left in him. So they should have definitely. I would have loved to see Jacob Eason go to them, but like I said, also too, you have Mason Rudolph and you have Devin Hodges, who I'm a big fan of. I think Devin Hodges is going to be a really good quarterback for them going into the future. So here are the Pittsburgh Steelers draft class for my special request. In round 2, they got Chase Claypool from Notre Dame, who is a big, tough, physical receiver. I'm going to compare him to a Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald he needs no introduction. Larry Fitzgerald is one of the best possession receivers of all time, if not one of the best receivers of all time. I'm going to give this draft pick an A, because I think they really needed to find someone opposite of Juju Smith-Schuster, especially if they tend to move on from Juju, because he is requesting a big-time contract. I think that he will eventually get paid, but anything can go down in this league. So this is like I said, this is another boom or bust year for, just like I said for Baker, this is a boom and bust year for Juju. I think Juju Smith has to show up. If he doesn't show up, he might get traded, especially in the offseason, or just flat out released, because this is a contract year. And Chase Claypool, I think, could be a really top receiver for them. And Pittsburgh hasn't had an elite receiver since Antonio Brown. So I think this is good that they picked it up with their first pick, a wide receiver. With their third pick, they picked up edge rusher Alex Highsmith from Charlotte. They shore up their defense, give T.J. Watt some help. He's a great physical edge rusher. He can play outside backer in a 3-4. He's also hand in the dirt defensive end in the 4-3, so he's good and physical. Weight is good, height is good. Speed is questionable, but speed is something you can always work on. So I don't know, coverage-wise, he's not the best, but he's definitely a great, like I said, edge rusher for them. Will be in that rotation with T.J. Watt and the rest of the backers, Bud Dupree, etc. I really like this next pick, running back Anthony McFarland from Maryland. He's a great third down and goal line back, great power back, really stick it up there, and that's what they need to give James Conner. They need a compliment to James Conner. James Conner is a first, second down back They need someone in there to really come in there and get that short yardage situation. So I think Anthony McFarland from Maryland does a great job as well. Kevin Dobson was their fourth pick from Louisiana Lafayette. Great. Like I said, you want to find out who your future quarterback is after Ben, whether it's Mason or whether it's Devlin Hodges. And to serve that offensive line is great because you get to develop your quarterback more because you have that protection. So that's smart. I also like their sixth-round pick, Antoine Brooks Jr. from Maryland. Good physical safety, great at the run, questionable at the pass, but like I said, he can work on those things, especially under with Mike Tomlin, who is a DB coach. He'll get him fired up and learn a lot. And then another defensive lineman, Carlos Davis from Nebraska, who is a great 4-3 guy. Steelers probably picked him up, so he'll probably play defensive end for them. Another edge rusher as well, so he'll be in that rotation with their third round pick, Alex Highsmith, and we'll see how they do. Overall, the Steelers draft grade, I give them a B. We'll see how they do. They will be contenders this season. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to talk about my winners some more, but I'm also going to talk about my losers, who I think I wasn't really sure where their head at was in this draft. Then I'm going to talk about what to watch out for this upcoming season. So, a loser in this draft, I'm going to give it to the Philadelphia Eagles. I wasn't really necessarily sure where their draft class was. I did like their first round pick in Jalen Reagor from TCU. Great receiver, very underrated. Give Carson Wentz another weapon. The Jalen Hurts pick I wasn't too sure about because Jalen Hurts is definitely a quality starting quarterback in this league. He can start. I don't know if they truly believe in Carson Wentz, or I don't know if there was a rumor that they're going to put him at running back. That would just be wasting his talent. Jalen Hurts deserves to be a starting quarterback. He worked so hard in college. Jalen Hurts just is a special talent. I compare him to Cam Newton, so I think, he needs to be someone starting. I think maybe if Doug Peterson's going to develop him, they're going to use him as trade bait and trade him, but we'll see how that works out. I feel like Philly should have did a little bit more in terms of actually doing their needs. In the Battle of Pennsylvania, I do think the Steelers are miles ahead of the Eagles in terms of competitiveness. I think the Eagles are probably a third-place team at best right now. I think Pittsburgh's a first-place team at best. I'm going to give them a second-place team only because Baltimore is just, that's a winner for me. I'm going to actually give Baltimore another winner of the draft because Baltimore, what they did in free agency and what they did in the draft, especially by getting the player to watch, which they definitely surefied them to be a top team going into 2020. But Pittsburgh did really well. They're going to contend with Baltimore and Cleveland as well as Cincinnati, and I think Pittsburgh's going to at least be a wild card team going into this year. But my surprise player to watch is the Baltimore Ravens' J.K. Dobbins, who is their second-round pick. J.K. Dobbins is a workhorse, and remember a few years ago when Mark Ingram was in New Orleans, and they had Alvin Kamara, and Mark Ingram just busted out. That's how it's going to be for Baltimore this year. Mark Ingram strives with another running back in their system, and J.K. Dobbins is going to bring out the best of Mark Ingram, and Mark Ingram's going to bring out the best in J.K. Dobbins, and that's a dangerous backfield with Lamar Jackson. So my player to watch is J.K. Dobbins. My winners was Cleveland, Baltimore, Carolina, Green Bay. My losers was Philly. My other loser was the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, they had C.D. Lamb, who's a great receiver, but I would like to see Dallas take the Carolina approach because I feel like Dak already had the weapons. You just added another weapon to him. So Dallas, you didn't really do much on the defensive side of the ball, so I got to put you in the loser right there. Washington was the winner, like I said, as well. Cincinnati was the winner. They did really well, especially getting the top pick overall with Joe Burrow, and they continue to get pieces around him like receivers and stuff. Miami was a winner. Miami got Tua. They fired up some offensive lineman picks, beef up that offensive lineman. Defense, I believe they won in free agency and just picked up people like Kyle Van Noy, Byron Jones, so I think that was great. Another loser was Buffalo. I think Buffalo could have done a little bit more in terms of on the offensive side, offensive line, just to give Josh Allen some protection, to give him enough time to give the ball to the new target, Stephon Diggs. But Buffalo will be fine. They're already in pretty good shape, and I actually think Buffalo might take control of the East. So here what we're going to do now is, coming into training camp, I'm going to give you my predictions of who I think will win the division, who I think will win each division, and then the wild card teams. So I'm going to give you an early prediction for it. The NFC East, I have, ready, the New York Giants winning the division. I also have a potential wild card team to watch out for are the Eagles, only because Philly seems to always do something in the second half of the season. So I'm going to put them in as a wild card, potential wild card. The NFC North, I actually have the Green Bay Packers winning, and a potential wild card, Minnesota. The NFC South, I actually have the New Orleans Saints winning. As a Carolina fan, that's really hurting me, but New Orleans is just the class of the South right now. With potential wild card teams, all three teams have potential to get in: Carolina, Tampa Bay, Atlanta. The NFC West, I have the Rams rebounding and winning the division with potential wild card teams, Seattle and Arizona. I forget one more, San Francisco, sorry. I think the big question for San Francisco is going to be if they can rebound from that Super Bowl loss the season after and really put it behind them. Seattle, always a threat, Russell Wilson. But LA, Sean McVay, I think they learned from last year, and that was the only down year. I think LA is coming to play this year as well. The AFC South, I have Houston winning the division with potential wild card Indianapolis and Tennessee. In AFC West, I have Kansas City repeating as champions with potential wild card LA Chargers. I think Justin Herbert will come in and actually to get the job done as well. AFC East, I have Buffalo winning the division with potential wild card New England. Something new next year, but I think New England's going to really figure things out of their future, and I think next year is really used for that. In AFC North, I have Baltimore winning with potential wild card teams, Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh. I don't really see Cleveland, Cincinnati getting in there. I think Cleveland, this is, like I said, even though I said a boom or bust year for Baker, and I like what they did with the offensive line, Cleveland, you got to stop doing good stuff on paper and not coming together on the field. You know, I think if Cleveland doesn't show up, Baker's looking for a new team. I think Odell gets traded. I think there's going to be a lot of turmoil again in Cleveland, which is team tend to be the story. So that's my pick. Those are my teams to watch. That's how I view the full draft. I hope you enjoyed it. Any requests, I'd be more than happy to do. If you want me to go more in depth on the team, like with that one request I did more in depth with the Pittsburgh Steelers, just shoot me down below, comment, like, subscribe, and I will be more than happy to explain on the team for you. Thank you. God bless. Praying that we all get through this pandemic right now. Wash your hands, wear your face mask. Have a great, blessed day. Next video, I'm going to do another special video for you guys. We're going to go in the entertainment world. We're going to talk about some good things I'm watching on Netflix, Hulu, as well as I'm going to maybe talk about some superhero stuff as well. Have a great day, y'all.